The morning sky was streaked with the soft amber of sunrise as Everett Brooks stepped into the first-class cabin of Flight 901. At 15, Everett was neither timid nor brash. He moved with the kind of quiet poise that often went unnoticed until it didn't. Dressed in a dark hoodie, jeans that fit perfectly, and spotless white sneakers, he carried a small backpack and a copy of Things Fall Apart in his hand. A pair of black headphones hung around his neck, modern but understated. Everything about him was clean and intentional, though not showy. He had paid for the seat 2A on his own merit. No upgrades. No favors. No apologies. Everett found his seat by the window, his favorite spot, not for the view but for the peace. He tucked his bag into the overhead bin and slid into the seat. The plane was quiet, filled mostly with executives in tailored suits and vacationers wrapped in silk scarves. Conversations were hushed and polite. No one looked up Punnell. She did. From the front of the cabin, a flight attendant entered briskly. Tall, blonde, and rigid in posture, her name badge glinted. Lana Whitmore. She moved with practiced efficiency, flashing soft smiles to some passengers and nods to others. But when her eyes landed on Everett, her expression turned cold, as if she'd discovered something out of place. She stopped, looked him over, then took a step forward. "Excuse me," she said with a polite but firm tone. "Are you certain you're in the correct seat?" Everett blinked, calmly pulling the ticket from his hoodie pocket. "Yes. Seat 2A. She snatched the ticket from his hand with an air of suspicion, examining it as if it might be counterfeit. "Are you traveling alone?" she asked, her voice now colder. "I am," Everett replied evenly. Lana's frown deepened. "There may have been an error in the booking. This is first class." "I know. That's what I purchased." Her lips tightened. "I'm going to have to ask you to step to the back while we verify this. You're disrupting the boarding process." "I haven't done anything wrong," Everett said, still seated. "This is my assigned seat." Without warning, Lana reached out and slapped his hand away from the phone resting on the armrest. The sound cracked through the cabin like a gunshot. No one moved. No one spoke. A woman across the aisle gasped quietly, covering her mouth. A man glanced at his watch, but no one intervened. "Move to the back." "Now," Lana said, still holding the ticket. Everett stood, retrieving his bag, not because he agreed but because resistance would bring only more attention. His hand still stung from the slap. His dignity, however, remained untouched. He walked silently to the rear of the plane, past the indifferent eyes of passengers who pretended not to see. He took a seat in the last row, worn, cramped, ignored. He pulled out his phone and typed a simple message. "She slapped me. Sent me to the back. Sitting last row." That message reached his father in under a minute. Miles away, in a corner office overlooking Midtown Manhattan, Roman Brooks read the text. He was the CEO of Aurelius Aviation, majority shareholder of the very airline Everett was on. His reputation was one of calm command. He didn't shout. He didn't panic. He picked up the phone. "Flight 901, he said into the receiver. "Seat 2A. Issue. Halt departure." The order reached airline operations in Atlanta within 2 minutes. The hold command was immediate. No doors closed. No clearance granted. No explanation was given. Inside the cockpit, Captain Raymond Keller was confused. He was told to halt all movement. Puzzled, he summoned the lead flight attendant. Lana Whitmore arrived, adjusting her uniform. Confident. Collected. "Lana, we need to talk," Keller said gravely. He didn't elaborate. Instead, he gestured toward the small screen, now showing a live video feed from headquarters. The image of Carla Jennings, the company's chief operations officer, appeared. "Ms. Whitmore," she began, not greeting, not smiling. "Do you know who the passenger in seat 2A is?" Lana blinked. "Just a boy. I thought he was in the wrong seat." "You thought wrong," Carla interrupted. "That boy is Everett Brooks. He's Roman Brooks' son." Lana's face drained of color. "You judged him. You removed him. You humiliated him without checking his ticket, without confirming protocol, based solely on how he looked." "You didn't know," Lana stammered. "Exactly," Carla said coldly. You didn't know, but you assumed. That's the problem. The instructions were direct. Apologize publicly, return Everett to his seat immediately, or be relieved permanently. Lana left the cockpit in a daze, her grip on power slipping with each step down the aisle. The silence in the cabin now carried a different weight. Not the quiet of comfort, but of shame. She reached the back row, where Everett sat by the window, still composed. "I want to apologize," she said, voice trembling. Everett looked up, eyes calm but firm. "You didn't check my ticket. You just saw me and assumed." There was nothing she could say. "I'll return to my seat," Everett continued. "Not because you asked, but because it's mine." He walked back up the aisle, head held high. Lana followed like a shadow, reduced to a figure trailing behind dignity she had tried to deny. Back in 2A, Everett sat down. The cabin, which once pretended not to see him, now couldn't look away. He didn't gloat. He didn't smirk. He reopened his book and began to read. At the gate, a corporate representative was already waiting. Lana was escorted off the plane. Within an hour, the story hit social media. A short video just 21 seconds showed Everett's hand being slapped, him rising without a word, and Lana standing rigid. The hashtag #Seat2 started trending worldwide. Across platforms, people spoke up. He didn't yell. He didn't resist. He just texted and the whole system froze. You don't have to scream to be powerful. Roman Brooks released a statement. "We are conducting an immediate investigation into systemic bias." Everett is not the only child who's ever been dismissed for not fitting someone's image of who belongs. Everett declined interviews. He didn't need a microphone. His silence had already spoken. The passengers disembarked differently than they boarded. Slowly, thoughtfully, no rush. Each one carried something: intangible guilt, awareness, reflection. A young girl whispered to her mother, "Why didn't anyone help him?" The mother whispered back, "Because they thought someone else would." In a private room, Lana stared at her termination papers. Her ID badge, once a symbol of control, now rested like a burden in her lap. Everett stepped into the terminal quietly. No cameras, no flashing lights, just his father, standing in a Navy suit. Roman didn't speak. He simply nodded. "I said what needed to be said," Everett told him, and the world had heard. That day, Flight 901 didn't just move through airspace. It moved through conscience.